Okay, this is Microsoft Word Lesson 4, which focuses on paragraph formatting. And if you take a look at the appendix page and look over here, you'll see the skills that are primarily covered under Lesson 4, which mostly are creating and modifying a list. So we're going to go over those activities in this lesson. And here are specifically the skills that are listed for this particular lesson: setting line spacing in text and in between paragraphs, and the aforementioned creating and formatting bulleted lists, and creating and formatted a numbered list. And go ahead and tell you the big difference between a bulleted list and a numbered list is when the order matters. If the order of the items listed matters, then it's a numbered list, or some people would call it an ordered list. And if the order does not matter, you could use bullets. All right, so just about everything we're going to be doing for this lesson has to do with formatting paragraphs, which you can locate the paragraph dialog box from a couple different places within Microsoft Word. And some specific things that you could do with formatting paragraphs are setting your indents, especially a hanging indent, which is used quite frequently, especially if you are typing some type of report that would require you to list your sources. And a first line indent is frequently used when you would want to indent the first line of every new paragraph. Now, I'm not going to lie, I can't ever remember needing a negative indent. And if you look at Microsoft Word on your ruler, you'll see these markings which indicate which type of indent that you're going to be setting. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working on some of these. And remember, some of these skills are basics and you already know it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go up to the very top of this first page of this lesson, and I've already got the file right here to keep you from having to navigate and find so many files. So I want to double click this file to open it up. I want to click OK, and this is actually opening on my other screen, and I'll drag this back here shortly. Here we go. I'm going to drag this back. And here are the three files that you'll be working with in this activity. And the best thing for you to do is to immediately save this file to your flash drive. And I'm even going to create a folder. Keep all of my files organized. And I'm not going to change the file name. I'm just going to click save. All right. So I'm going to drag this file back off my screen now that you've seen what it looks like. And we'll scroll down here and we're going to learn about setting first line indents. And they give you some directions here to follow, which I've kind of modified for you. And the file they want you to open is this one right here, Books Beyond. So if you will double click that icon, let me drag this back. I'm going to double click this, open it up, and then you see the file that you're going to be editing. And I'm going to try to keep this both on screen as much as possible, but at some point I may not be able to get both of these to fit on the screen at the same time. So we've got the file open, and it tells you in step 6 to go under the View tab. And if you do not see your ruler, now see mine's already active, but if you don't see your ruler, you would go under View and click Ruler. And remember, anything you do under View only affects how this appears on your screen and not how it would look if you printed it out. Okay, so what they want you to do first is to select the first of the 4 paragraphs under the word acknowledgement. So these 4 paragraphs right here, you can click, hold, and drag. And they're wanting you to add a first line indent. And there's a couple different ways that you can add a first line indent, including going under the paragraph dialog box launcher and selecting special, and then going to select first line and make sure it's at 1/2 inch. Or you could just drag the ruler, the first line indent marker that's on the ruler over, and that sometimes it's kind of hard to get that because it's got a sweet spot that you have to get, and sometimes that's hard to get. So again, I'm still trying to resize my screens here, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it like that. I know you can't see all these names over here. All right, so I'm gonna come back. We've got these 4 paragraphs selected, and you could go under the layout tab. So you go under the click your paragraph dialog box launcher, and over here where it says special, you could click first line, and by default it goes to 1/2 inch. And you can go ahead and just click OK, and you can see how you get the first line of each new paragraph indents by 1/2 inch. Now again, they may in this lesson tell you multiple ways to do this. I'm a big believer in find one way that works best for you and use that all the time. Okay, so now they want you to click the paragraphs under equal employment opportunity and diversity. Okay, so you've got these 2 paragraphs. I want to select those. And here they're wanting you to also to put in a first line indent. And I'm guessing they're going to tell us to use the same 1/2 inch. So go into your paragraph dialog box launcher, click that launcher again. Again, you can change your first line, change your indent to first line again, so accept the default of 1/2 inch in this case, and click OK. So again, you could have also drug this marker on the ruler over, but sometimes it's hard to get that first line indent marker right there. So now we want to come down. We're going to set a hanging indent. So we need to go under the acknowledgement section. And select these 2 paragraphs. And now they're wanting you to change these from a first line indent to a hanging indent. Now if you look at the marker over here, or at the screenshot, I'm sorry, you see an example of what a first line indent looks like. It's when the first line is flush at the left margin, and then all the other lines in that paragraph are indented. So what we want to do in this case is we want to go back under the paragraph dialog box launcher, click that, and we want to change where it says special to hanging. And when I click OK, notice how these hang, how they change, and they look like this. And again, you could have readjusted these 2 markers to fit the position that you see here, but to me it's probably easier to do it the way I'm showing you here. And now they want you to go ahead and do the same thing to these 2 paragraphs. And if you are going to use the ruler, you have to drag these over. And again, sometimes it's kind of hard to get those exact markers the way I just did. But anyway. Alright, so here they tell you to save the document with a different file name. You don't have to do that because we're using this nice embedded file that I created for you. So we can come down here now, and they want us to come down to this introduction section and select the 4 paragraphs right here. And once you do that, this time we are going to put in a left indent and a right indent of 1 inch. Now again, you could go under your paragraph grouping, and if you look here under your paragraph group, you've got indent left and right already here. So you can just type a number 1 in here on the left and the right, and then you could hit enter, and once you do that, you see how they move in both on the left and the right hand sides. And you can match this screenshot up, and it looks for example, you look at the screenshot here, This line ends with the word employee, as does this one. This second line ends with the word to, as does this one. Third line ends with the word that, so does this one, and so forth and so forth. Now, sometimes you might need to pull text in like this to indent the text on the paragraph for whatever reason. I don't know. All right, so negative indents, they tell you to go under this section right here. If we scroll down, equal employment opportunity and diversity. They tell you go select this paragraph right here. And for a negative indent, again, you can take the markers on the ruler and you just have to move it. And, you know, they're telling you to move it like this. And I notice how when I move the left indent that it also pulls this first line indent over as well. Depending upon what you're trying to move, it determines whether or not you select your left indent or your hanging indent or your first line indent. In this case, we want to move everything over. And now it looks pretty much the way you see it here in this particular screenshot. Okay, and then next they want you to come down and select in this paragraph, and they want you to move your, it looks like they want you to move your, well, it looks like that's the way they want it already. It's already that way. Sometimes it's kind of hard for me to look at these and see exactly what they're wanting you to do, because sometimes the directions are a little bit confusing, which is why I got this video for you. All right, so that's the main things that you need to know for formatting paragraphs. Remember, if you have any questions, you can always review this as necessary.